Good evening, students. This is Professor Estrada with your Week 3 video lecture for the class. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the homepage. The homepage is where we start with everything. You are always welcome to look at the left side tab of the homepage. It just tells you all the recap announcements. Basically put, if we were meeting twice a week, Tuesday or Thursday or Monday or Wednesday, what have you, I would try to send out a recap announcement. This recap announcement tells you what we did during that week. Because we're an online class, I open up the class on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock through a Sunday night at 11:59. So during any folder, you're more than welcome to take your time, going in and completing the part 1 and part 2 section. As you see here, I tend to send out a lot of recap announcements. They're just really helpful in the fact that if you ever just need to know where we are at within the course, any due dates, anything that's changed, feel free to look at these. There's always important reminders that I always try to send out. As always, you are more than welcome to send me an email, aestrada@hillcollege.edu. Be sure to be sending me through your student account. Oftentimes, if you're sending me through Hotmail, Yahoo, what have you, it's not going to go through and it goes straight to my spam. So just make sure that it's at your Hill College email. One of the things that I will say is there is this work to do module and the calendar. While they are great, mind you, you do have to go into the content to have prior knowledge of what's happening within the course. Don't just click on something to click on it. You may need the background of what the lecture slides or what the folder is for that week. While they usually tend to have the correct date, sometimes they add the extra due dates that you are able to have within the folder. Within the class, it's set up to where the whole week, up until that Sunday, you can turn in something late. Even with using a late pass, which is usually that 10 o'clock on that Sunday night to turn in something, you are more than welcome to turn in stuff late. Just like my announcements say, you are more than welcome to turn in something late. Late work can still be submitted, but with 25 points off per each day. After the cutting day, it's no longer accessible within that folder. So if we're in week 3, you can't go back to week 1 and try to do something. It gives you 4 extra days to do it after its due date, but I just deduct points. But just like always, let's just be sure that we are clicking on the content folder before we just dive right into these assignments without any background knowledge. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the week 3 day 1 folder. I have been having Wi-Fi problems, and if you're seeing this, I am recording this a couple of days in advance. So I just want to make sure that if we open it up early for you, you have access to it. Mind you, this may be visible to you after the next couple of days. If I record this early, it's just because it's not open yet, but you won't have to worry about those little emojis. But this is in the week 3 folder. This is what we see right now. The week 3 folder contains the following, and I'm going to go ahead and show you this so that way you have it. Okay, so the week 3 folder has the lecture slides that we're about to show, the quiz 2 over week 2 stories or works, and the unit 2 exam. It will close February 22nd. So while the quiz is in a week 3 due date, Sunday, February 8th, the unit 2 exam will close even later than that. So it has a different due date than what is normally in this folder. And just like it says, anything within this week 3 part 1 folder, this week 3 part 1 folder will have a Sunday due date, 11:59. It just gives you extra days. This is why it says pay no mind to the extra due dates. That just means whenever you see it on the homepage, it gives you the extra due dates that I allow you to. So don't be confused to what the syllabus says. And it says, due to the overlapping time and content, the Unit 2 exam is placed in this folder, Week 3, Part 1, but it stretches out to the Week 5 folder, and it has available content in there. So it goes from Week 3, Part 1 to Week 5, Part 1. And going into the Unit 2 exam, it says that it covers additional authors that we don't cover from the lectures or the course content, so it may require you to have background knowledge or kind of know about them before you even take the test. So it's always good to kind of know what's within the test. So it covers some of the following. It covers Thomas Paine, The American Crisis, Patrick Henry's Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. It gives you a forefront of some of the authors that you may be required to write a little bit of their biography, a little bit of what's going on with them. Henry David Thoreau, a little bit of the neoclassical era and forms of writing, during this era. And so because this unit exam is found only in here, you're going to continue going back to it as we go into the week 5 folder. So let's dive right in. Notice that the quiz 2 is also right here and the week 3 day 1 slides. So I'm going to zoom out so that way you have them. These are my lecture slides as if we would be given them in class. So I'm going to zoom out. These are the objectives for week 3 day 1. Recap a little bit of what last week would have been. Important reminders, the introduction to the neoclassical era, and the completion of your week 3 content. So a little bit of what you would have worked on within the week 2 day 2 folder. It just tells you that components are still ongoing as this is a online class. An assignment can still be accepted even without a late pass. Failure to not submit an assignment after 4 days results in a 0. I will take it even beyond a Sunday or Monday due date, but with a grade point deduction. So because your due dates are usually Sundays, I still take it even after its due date. So always just pay attention to the syllabus and the due dates. So let's dive into the introduction of the neoclassical era. Some lecture notes that we should be taking note on, some little key takeaways, is the neoclassical era is the age of classic age or the age of reason, 1660 to 1790. It's characterized by order, accuracy, and structure. It's a period of enlightenment. The literature this time was concerned with human nature, supremacy, and reason. Writers during this time did not wish to understand things, but wanted to imagine things. So the neoclassical period of this time can be divided into the Restoration period, the Augustan period, and the Age of Johnson, or the Age of Sensibility. We have the Restoration period, the Augustan period, and the Age of Johnson. They mimic that of other eras. They mimic that of England, of Britain. And so we see a lot of those similarities in our own writing in American literature. The neoclassical, here's a beautiful definition of what that means. Neo means new, classical, period of enlightenment, age of reason, or era of logic. The Restoration literature, the Augustan period, and the Age of Johnson. So we have definitions of each going into their sections. And popular types of writing during this time that we see during American literature, we see parodies, we see letters, we see essays, melodrama, fables, and satires. So while we consider some of these writings as we go into these, we have to understand that during this time, this is what they thought to be significant. Okay, and you can always go back and look at these at your own time if I'm going at a faster pace. These are just the PDF files for it. Key characteristics in neoclassical writing. So as you're reading these authors and their celebrated works, be sure to look at some of these. They're looking at order and structure, discussion of many types of social issues, and flawed characters. Neoclassical works saw humans as much more flawed than just capable of doing bad just as good. We look at key characteristics continued, borrowing from antiquity, borrowing from what works back then, and looking at different genres and techniques and themes, and we're making them into a more modernized context. We look at an emphasis of logic and rationality. Neoclassic authors rationalize things in their own work, focusing on what is knowable rather than what isn't, like religion and spirituality. We look at their characteristics in their writing. We look at the play on words on what they used and how it was used for us. And so this is in your folder. It's the online content, the lecture slides, a quiz 2, and the unit exam. As the unit exam is ongoing, it closes February 2nd. Okay. And then this is the important reminder for the unit exam. It is open, but it just overlaps into the week 5. For you to completely take it, just make sure that you go through week 3, week 4, and week 5 before you complete it. Okay. And so you have quiz 2, and then you have unit 2 online. And then we have the quiz, we have week 3, part 2 folder. So there's no lecture slides for this folder. Instead, it just has one thing. It says to begin the letters to the Civil War writing assignment instructions. It's just the instructions. There's no module yet because its due date is not until Sunday, March 1st. So there is a stretch of a time. It won't be found as a submission module until week 6, part 2. So I want to go ahead and dive into it so that way you are able to look at it. I'm just simply placing the instructions here so that way you have it. So I went ahead and opened it up because I was having spotty internet issues. So I went ahead and opened it up right here. So whenever you open it up in Brightspace, it should be able to pop up as a PDF. So it just says, let me zoom out a little bit, that it's a letters of the Civil War. So you'll be reading Civil War letters for this assignment because it stretches out several weeks. It says for this assignment, you will analyze the timeline of correspondences that happened during that time. So using the following websites, website number 1, it should open up if you click on it, or website number 2, you will explore between both of them for people, for groups, or for collections of letters. So just 4. You will be asked to pinpoint specific groups or singular person, biography, or letter by choosing 4 from any of the following. So website 1, I list a few people, and then website 2, I list a few people. You are more than welcome to do 2, 1, or 2, however, as long as it fits 4 sections. And as I scroll through the document, you'll be able to see that. And then it says, as long as 4 people are completed. So this is just from website 1. I listed a couple of people. These are their correspondences during this time. There's different people to choose from. You can choose 1, 2, or all. And notice that when you click on their website, it will take you to that biography of that person that lived during this time and the letters that were found, and whether they were drawings, whether they were artifacts, whether they were letters that you're able to explore. Click on those. Each of these should be live and accessible to you, and you're going to click on them. All of these come from different collections and different archives, and you'll click on them. So it has the name, it has their last name, correspondence, and these are digital collections. I tried to group them in no particular order and not even ABC order, but just by website 1 or website 2. The first website is Civil War Letters Collection, and then the second website is called Civil War Transcriptions. They probably have a more specific website as you click on it. And so there's group 1 and group 2, however you would like to. So after you just pick a person from any one of these groups, so this is from website 2, so if you click on website 2, there's more people right here. Plenty of people to choose from. It says 1 person or collection of letters for a section, meaning you only need to have to write for 4 people or collections. So let's just say, for example, that from group 1, you choose Mary Curtis Lee. You're going to click on Mary Curtis Lee and only answer pertaining to her for section 1. Put her name, the name that appears as the title, and each of these are going to have the same questions. You're just going to follow the same format for 4 different times. It says to give a 2-sentence paragraph on that person, if there's anything. How many letters are in that group, if it's pictures, if it's drawings, whatever it is that you see in that collection, if it's accessible or if it's noted, please write it. Read a letter and write its summary. Who is it being written to? Why? When? Where? What's going on? And if it asks for a couple of sentences, be sure to do that. If you just want a list or bullet, you're more than welcome to. We always try to make sure that we are answering in accordance to what the question is being said. It says, what is the general tone or overall mood of a specific letter or specific group? Is it hopeful? Is it sad? How do you know this? After reading about this group or person, choose 1 letter that really just stands out to you according to the events or timeline. Maybe a sentence or quote that really just stood out during that letter. Upon reading the letters, which closing words really stand out to you? Goodbye, darling, sincerely yours, hope to see you soon. However they do their closing line, because during this time, they may not have had that hope to be able to see somebody, so their closing lines are a little bit more sentimental than ours. What is the main website that you use? So you'll write website 1, its actual title, or website 2 right here, and then include any specific person if there was an additional link. So let's just say that you did Mary Curtis Lee for the first one, and you still want to continue on and do somebody else from group 1. So let's just say that you're going to do Samuel Lukid, and you'll complete that for the section 2. Same way, the same questions are being asked, and you just follow that example. You don't have to do 2 from group 1. You can do all 4 from group 2. I just listed more than enough, so that way you have plenty of choices. All of these should be live and accessible to you. And you just follow the same format for all of these, section group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, or person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4. And they all do the same thing. And I want to say, the last question that is not in relevance to all of them, it's just a conclusion sentence. It just says, why do you think it's important to study written artifacts such as letters during this time? Okay. So as it's not due until Sunday, March 1st, it gives you plenty of time to continue it. But I only included the instructions in the week 3 part 2 folder. So there's no lecture slides. It's just the instructions. So it gives you time to complete it in the next couple of weeks. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email is always open. And just make sure that we are taking time with each content. If this is an online class, just like I said before in many of my emails, take your time with it, going in about maybe an hour each day, just so that you're aware of things. But at any point, feel free to reach out and look at the announcements.